Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special treat today on the HammondCast Show on KYCY and KYOU. I'm sitting here with an old friend, one of my very favorite vocalists from the Bay Area, longtime vocalist and now band leader of Cold Blood, Lydia Pense. How you doing, Lydia?
Howdy, hi. Just fine and dandy. How you doing?
Everything's beautiful. I like to say a medium well done, but it's a bad joke and it's got a lot of miles on it.
We're all treading water.
Yeah. So, a lot of water under the old Bay Bridge, Lydia. I have seen your band so many times over the years, starting back when Cold Blood was not even Cold Blood, it was the Generation.
Yeah.
And originally, when you came on the band, what year was that? How many years has Cold Blood been in existence?
All right, we'll say this. I think it came from the Generation, and then about 68, it turned over in Cold Blood, so it's been that long.
Wow.
With a little bit of stops in between, but we're still generating now and still going. I'm the only original member from it, but the guys in this band, some dynamite players we got, and we're still happening.
That's great. Well, so the history of this group is going on 40 years now. I would say 40 years if you count the Generation too.
Long time.
And you guys were cutting edge. At the time when I first saw your band, you were one of the first groups that were utilizing horns and definitely defining the East Bay
from the San
funk
Francisco sound to the East Bay sound to the Bay Area sound. I don't know what sound it is, but it's our own sound.
And there were very few female vocalists really in the scene, and it was a very electric time for the bands that were on the scene at the time, because there were record company people here, and they were looking for people to sign, and they were signing people.
I think it was transition time, I mean, there was a lot of guitar bands at the time, like I said, horn bands. Whoa, we have, playing at the Fillmore with horns. You know how people are going to take you, but they responded really well, and it's just something that I've always loved too, is horns. Having horns in the band, the more the better, big bands. But it took really well, and Bill liked us, Bill Graham, and so just kept on playing.
So the story that I heard, we have a little background noise here, but we're in one of our favorite cafes over here in the East Bay, and this is where it all started. But the story that I heard was that Cold Blood appeared on one of the, was it a Wednesday night audition night at the Fillmore?
Well, let me tell you something. I had first played at the Fillmore with another group. It was a 4-piece group called Collage. And we had myself, we had a B3 player who played bass pedals. We had no bass, and guitar and drums. And another story about this was that Bill Graham had come to our rehearsal in Burlingame. Drummer knew the lady that was working with Bill Graham at the time at the box office, and he came to our rehearsal and he put us on. I think it might have been during the week or something, but this was in 1966.
Wow.
So that was the first band that I've been with that played there. And then there was another band that I was with, besides Cold Blood, that played at the Carousel at the time. We played with Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. And it was another group, it was a whole different group too by that name. And then Cold Blood, actually the first time I think we played there was it might have been, 70, somewhere like that. 71, and the last days of the Fillmore were on that. I think that was 71 or something. But anyway, yeah.
I heard you guys completely tore it up when you hit the Fillmore. It was what they used to call audition nights, but you made the audition, obviously. I believe they signed you after that.
I guess so. I can't remember that, though. I was wondering how the hell we came in there.
So then you went on to record with that group.
And then we got picked up with San Francisco Records. It was Bill Graham's organization at the time. Shady Management, Millard Agency, and all that stuff. And that's where a lot of groups were in that. There was like Santana was in there, Elton Bishop, it was a Beautiful Day.
David Rubinson?
David Rubinson. Our first recording, the very first album we did, which was recorded in '69, David Rubinson had produced it. He was the producer. Fred Cotero, the engineer at the time. Yeah. Yeah.
And how many pieces were in the band at that time?
We had, at that time, I think we had 4 horns. At least, I know we had 2 or 3 or 4. I think 4 we had. We always had 4 horns back then. Yeah, and guitar, bass, drums. We had B3, Raul, and myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like 9 pieces, something like that.
Fantastic.
Big band.
Well, you know, I'm so sorry that so many fine musicians that have been in your group are no longer with us, you know, and I think a lot about some of the cats who I knew on your early band. Sandy McKee.
Sandy McKee
was a great drummer, a very nice guy, and
one of a kind.
You said that he actually came up with the name of Cold Blood,
well,
right?
yeah, as I remember, we had played. We were going to play at the Fillmore or something. I don't know what happened. We had a different name going. It wasn't Generation either. It was something else. I don't know, Hobson's Choice. I think we went by that name once at one gig. Our bass player at the time, Rod Ellicott, thought of that one. We had to change our name, so we were sitting around one day and thinking, what are we going to name? And so I think Sandy said, how about Cold Blood? Cold Blood, because the saying, hey, that's cold-blooded, man, or,
right.
you know. So it kind of stuck. It had nothing to do with In Cold Blood at the time, with Truman Capote's thing. So it was just that, yeah, well, that sounds cool. It was straightforward, and it meant what it said, so.
Well, the name has served you well, and it definitely, you guys really were a big part of the San Francisco music history at that time, and then an amazing turn of events happened when Donny Hathaway became your producer, one of my all-time favorites, you know. So how did you come to the attention of Donny Hathaway?
Okay, this was, I believe, that was recorded 74, 73. We had finished our second album, and we were ready to do the next album and stuff, and we were sitting around thinking of people to do the album and stuff, and me and Raul at the time were into listening to a lot of Donny Hathaway stuff. Yeah, and I was sitting around like, man, wouldn't it be cool, man, if we can get Donny Hathaway to produce, you know, it's just a thought of going, yeah, something that would, would never happen, but say, we'll just bring it up to the management, you know, and see what happens, maybe we can get him, you know. I go, oh yeah, right. So turns out that he did the project, he wanted to do it, and I go, oh man, knocked me out. Donny had Mr. Hathaway, he had come to our rehearsal, and it was just like, you know, he was playing these songs and stuff, and that one tune that, he goes, Lydia, here, I want you to listen to this song, I want you to do this song, and it was that one called You Had to Know. It's on that, one of the album that he had done. It was First Taste of Sin is the name of the album. And he sat down at the piano and played and sang that song, and I about just melted.
Did you get to sing with him together?
Oh man, I know. I let him sing first. I think I have a little recording somewhere that I recorded it too.
How beautiful is that? Wow.
And I says, man, that's a beautiful song, man. I don't know if I can sing it. He goes, yeah, you can. You know, and I'm going. So he brought a lot of stuff out that you know, in that way, you know, to say, yeah, you can do that.
And then the instrumental, Valdez and the Country.
Yeah, I mean, the cat was just an inspiration, man, to be able to have him work, you know, be able to work with him together.
What a beautiful, lucky star to be shining on you there.
Oh, man, that was heaven sent, and unfortunately he's not with us anymore, but his music will go on forever.
We miss Donny Hathaway, and the way he went out was very sad, particularly, you know. And another guy who I knew very well, and I miss him a lot too, is Pat O'Hara, you know.
Pat O'Hara, I remember Pat O'Hara, I know, bone player.
And Pat played a lot with a tenor player that's on one of my albums, was my arranging and composition teacher at Berklee College of Music, and he played in Generation and Cold Blood. That's Todd Anderson.
Todd Anderson.
Who is my neighbor. And
small world.
Yeah, and Todd played with Pat also on the Loading Zone, you know.
That's right. And Linda Tillery in the Loading Zone.
KYCY and KYOU at 1550 on the AM dial. So in signing off, what have you got to say to our listeners out there for KYOU, Lydia?
Well, can you tune in and listen? If you can't, that's on you.